What are your spiritual pet peeves? Hi, everyone. My name is Maya Zahira with PsychicProtectionSanctuary.com. And I just wanted to do this really short video to get us brainstorming and sharing in the comments. I would love to know what is your top pet peeve regarding spiritual stuff, or you can list more than one. I'll go ahead and share my biggest pet peeve to give you an example. So when I'm hanging out with somebody, it could be I'm out to lunch with a friend who happens to be a pretty spiritual person, or if I'm interacting with an acquaintance, maybe at a spiritual event or something. My pet peeve is when we are just talking, having a normal conversation, and all of a sudden they say, wait, I have a message for you from my guides. My spirit guides have a message for you. And I find that so annoying. And I know that each time it happens, the person means well. And then they'll start telling me this message, blah, blah, blah. Actually, in the last year, I've gotten into the habit of stopping people. And I will say, just a moment. I would like this conversation to be just between the two of us. We don't need any outside parties. If you've been following me for a while, or if you've read my recent book, Revealing the False Light Agenda, you know about some of my unusual situations that I've been through, where I've had numerous very jarring encounters with false light entities, dark beings pretending to be spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, and so on. And because of those experiences, I have a strong discernment about what is false light and what isn't, what is authentic and what is trickster. And so when I'm having lunch with someone, a very delightful lunch, and all of a sudden they say, oh, my spirit guides have a message for you, blah, 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 and they share the message. And I'm sitting there thinking, your guides are not my friends. They are not anyone I would take advice from, because I don't know them. Like, let me ask you, the viewer, would you take advice from a random stranger who kind of seems shady? I wouldn't. Like, I might hear what they have to say, but then I wouldn't take the advice. And so in my mind, when someone is saying, oh, my guides have advice for you, I'm thinking, I don't know your guides. I don't trust them. I haven't vetted them. I don't care what advice they have. And plus, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, not these other beings. But this whole nonsense of random messages from spirit guides has been so normalized. And even people who seem pretty down to earth and grounded are doing it. They're channeling messages from usually non-beneficial beings that are tricksters. So that's my pet peeve. I get really annoyed. And I actually, amazingly, am very kind and diplomatic. Sometimes I will let them go ahead. But now, with everything I've gone through, in the last year, I've tended to stop people. And they get really confused and upset when I'm like, no, I would like to just have a conversation between the two of us. And because they're so used to, like, it's this whole thing of sharing random messages from your spirit guides is so normalized. In fact, it's normalized to the point where if someone doesn't let you do it, they get very confused. Like, what's this all about? So that's my biggest pet peeve is when people share messages from their spirit guides without consent. And I guess my other side pet peeve is how normalized it has become. So when people do it, and then the fact that it's so normal, is so like commonplace that no one even thinks twice about it. So that's my top number one spiritual pet peeve. So if you're on this channel and you've been drawn to watch any of my videos, you probably are someone who is more grounded in your spirituality. You probably are more self-aware. You probably are someone who knows what spiritual bypassing, like those dysfunctional spiritual behaviors, are. You've probably had moments of irritation and frustration when you're trying to interact within spiritual events or spiritual communities, and there's a lack of discernment, or there's just these really weird behaviors or practices that are happening. I would love to hear what your top pet peeve or top few pet peeves might be. I think we could have a really fun conversation about this, really commiserating. Those of us who are more spiritually grounded, we can bond together through some of these frustrations. So if you would like to learn more about the work that I do, you can connect with my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. And I encourage you to sign up for the newsletter, where I send out a weekly email. It's not every day like is the trend right now. That's crazy. Every week. So it's just once a week on Thursdays, I send out an email with some of my free content that you get to enjoy. So as always, I'm sending you lots of love. Have fun in the comments, you guys. Until next time.